Hey everyone, I hope that you're having a great week. So, someone asked me to give some advice on hiring a business coach, and I thought that that would be a really great thing for me to share here with you today. Just tell you kind of how investing has changed my business and what I think that you should look for when you're looking for a coach or trying to make a decision about an investment that would be right for you. So, first, I just want to say that can you do this all by yourself? Definitely, you can. You can Google, you can DIY, you can do all of these things yourself, but it's also true that it will take you longer, that it will be really frustrating. And when you average out the time that you're going to spend looking and figuring things out versus making an investment and having someone help you get to where you want to go faster, then you need to make that decision and whatever feels best for you. But generally, I would say that, that's the one thing that I wish that I had done differently when I started my first business. So that was Tipsy Studio, and that was my design studio where I helped people with branding and marketing and web design. And if I could have done it all over again, I really would have gotten some help. But honestly, I was so green that I didn't even know that that was an option. I didn't know that unless I had some massively big business, that I could actually hire someone to help me. And it was very lonely. So the first investment that I made was a $300 a month commitment to a mastermind group. And I got what I was looking for because I really was wanting to have some kind of connections. Because, like I said, I was very green, I was really lonely, I didn't know anyone else who was doing the same kind of thing that I did. And it felt really scary. That $300 a month it felt like a million because I didn't know if I was going to be $300, just $300 less a month. Do I need to get more clients and make it for that money? It feels so weird to invest in something and spend money on your business if you're not making the kind of money that you really want to make. But here's what's so interesting about that. I, like many of you, invested a ton of money going to college to get a degree, and that didn't seem crazy. But then it can seem insane to have somebody that you pay to help you create the business that you want. So I think that the reason why is because it's such an easy step to get into having your online business. If there's such a low entry point, you don't have to have certifications. You don't have to have millions of dollars. Like, you don't need that much to actually start a business and have somebody pay you for providing a service. But then when it comes to investing in that business, it feels like a huge weight. It feels like it doesn't make sense to have somebody help you do what you want to do. But like I said, if you go to college and have student loans or however you have to pay for college, like, that doesn't seem crazy. So I think that's the first thing is, like, yes, you could totally do this on your own and there's such a low entry point, but you have to decide, is it worth it to me to get where I want to go a year from now on my own and spend, a lot of hard nights, and basically, like, what are you going to have to give up? Because you always have to give something to get something in return. So, is it worth giving up extra time and taking time away from, maybe you're giving up time with your family, maybe you're giving up time with your friends to figure this all out yourself? Or does it seem better to just give up some of your savings to get where you want to be faster? So you really have to think about the longevity of this, because what I know to be true is that every time you invest in your business, you're always going to get that back. So I think that the few things that you need to consider when you're wondering, like, what's the best investment in for me, is really thinking about what problem you want to solve and what your goals are. So, as I said, the first investment that I made was that $300 a month. And for me, I got what I wanted out of it because I wanted to meet people. I wanted just to network. I felt like but the problem I was solving was that, one, I felt so lonely, just like didn't know what to do about anything really. And two, I wanted to create a network of people to grow my business. So I really didn't know a great way to meet people, like how we often use Facebook groups for that. I didn't know how to meet and network. And so it was really confusing. And I thought, this is going to solve my problem, which is I need a network to not only feel like I, have like a business bestie and people to talk to, but also fill a need, which was networking, building that network, that referral network. So did it solve my problem? Yes. I made some of, like, best friends that, like, BFFs out of that group. and also had some really great collaborations. And so, knowing what my intention was going in, I got what I wanted. Now, if I had made that investment thinking that I was going to get the advice or the feedback that I needed to take my business to the next level and make, X amount of money, then I would have been disappointed because that's not what it was there for. So it's really important to know what it is you're looking for and having the right intention when you're going into something. That way, you're going to find what's the best fit for you, because programs are great, and often you can get a high level of service without having to spend as much money. I mean, depending, of course, on which program you're in, but you may need one on one attention. If you feel like you don't know anything and you're just starting, then you want someone whose expertise is in helping people get started. If you are looking to scale, if you are in a product-based business versus a service-based business, you really want to make sure that you're finding whatever is the best fit for that and being really clear about the problem that you solve. Because also, whenever you are trying to meet someone, like if you and I were to get on the phone and you're telling me specifically what problem you want to solve and what your intentions are, if I'm not the right fit for you, I'm going to tell you, because first of all, I want what's best for you. Like my mission is for women to succeed and have a business that they love so they have more choices in how they live their life. Period. Like if it's with me, great. If it's not with me, that's okay too. If you just need a free call to like help push you in the right direction, I love that too. It doesn't matter to me. But if you're not clear, then it makes it really hard for me to be clear. So not only will I not be able to help you in the way that fits best, but we would maybe get into a relationship where we're working together and it's not the best fit. So I'm really great at making sure that doesn't happen. But, if you worked with someone who was a newer coach, maybe they wouldn't know, right? Maybe they wouldn't know the right questions to ask. Maybe they hadn't had enough experience with the right customers or the wrong customers to know if you were a good fit or not. So it's really important for you to know what problem you're trying to solve. Not so much the way that it needs to be solved, because the way that you think it needs to be solved doesn't mean that's the right way. It's more about identifying what it is that you need so that you can be matched with the person who can provide the best service. The second thing that I think is important is just making sure that it's a good personality fit. So every coach has plenty of online material. You can watch videos like this, you can read testimonials. Any person that's providing a service is going to be happy to connect you with people so that you can get a more in-depth preview of that. Of course, getting on a phone call and doing a gut check and making sure that it's the right thing for you. So those are all ways to pick the person who is going to be the right fit. So do you need a one-on-one? Do you need a group coaching program? Which kind of coach is the right person for you? The personality check, and those are all great. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is if you are having some reservations still and you're not really sure how to make a decision. So I think that there are a couple of things that are always going to stop you. You may feel like, okay, it's money. Like if I had $1 million, I would just go hire the most, wonderful coach that I can find, or I wouldn't be worried about this. But that's not really true, because generally when people have objections, it's not really about the money. So not that that's not a consideration. That'd be crazy if we just never considered how much we were spending or if it was the right choice. But the bigger question is, do I think that I'm going to get the result that I really want? Because we are so willing to figure out how to pay for something if we are convinced that it's going to solve our problem. So just like I teach that to you guys as far as your marketing goes, to make sure that people have a real trust and confidence in the things that you do, you also want to feel that way when you are going to invest in your business and work with someone. So you really want to question, do I feel like I'm going to get the result that I want? And if not, is it because I'm afraid that I'm not going to show up? I'm afraid and being disappointed again. I'm afraid that I've made a bad investment working with a coach or ordering something or a course or whatever before, and I'm afraid that I'm going to make that bad decision again. Or do I just not really believe that it's possible for me? So if you're really on the fence, if you found somebody and you like them and you can see yourself working with them and you really think that they have the service that you need to solve your problem, but you're still not really sure about it, I would really dig a little bit deeper and ask myself those questions. So Do you have ultimate confidence they can solve their problem? If not, is it because you don't think that you're going to show up? Is it because you have a limiting belief that, it's not your time or whatever it is? Or is it more about the coach and you need to dig a little deeper? You need to have a phone call with them, maybe find somebody else. So you really want to identify those two. And just some quick tips, because I love doing that deeper mindset work. A few quick tips if it is that you are afraid that you have made a bad decision before, because I see this come up a lot. What you really want to do is think about a time that you made a really good decision where you felt like, I am so freaking boss, I made a great decision. You want to think about that and you want to go back. What did it look like? What did it feel like? How did you know that you made a really good decision? Okay. You want to really grasp that situation. Then you want to think of a different time when you felt like you didn't really make a good decision. And you want to ask yourself, what is different between the first scenario where I made a good decision and the second scenario where I felt like I didn't make a good decision? You want to look at how those two things were different. And then you want to ask yourself, what did you learn from when the time that you felt like you didn't make a good decision, and how can you carry that into this decision now? So maybe you didn't do enough research on the person. Maybe when you made the bad buying decision, you emotionally were in a different state, and you could see the two differences now. And what you've learned is that, hey, when I'm feeling really down on myself, that is not a great time to make a decision. When I am making decisions based out of fear, I'm not making good decisions. So that you can really assess the situation and move forward into decision making with confidence. So I'll just recap that again really quickly. You want to think about a time when you made a really great decision, and go back and think what you thought and hear what you hear and saw what you saw and feel what you felt. And then you want to think of the opposite time when you made a decision that you didn't feel like was very good. And you want to go back there and think what you thought and feel what you felt and hear what you hear and saw, what did you see? And really compare the two situations so that you can see that, yes, I do make really good decisions, but the reason why I didn't make a decision this time that was very good was because of X, Y, and Z. And so now I've learned that lesson, and how can I apply this to my decision-making processes going forward? A great example of how that works is, I can think of one person just off the top of my head who had gotten into a program and she felt like she didn't really get what she needed, and so she was really scared to invest again. But what I could say is that it wasn't that she didn't get anything out of it, because she did. It's just that she didn't get what she thought she was going to get because she wasn't in the right place in her journey to do that. So let's say she was at step 1 and she thought that this course was going to get her to step 100, and it only got her to, like, I don't know, step 20. It wasn't that it was wrong or bad or not good. It just wasn't the right fit for her at the right time. And if she had spoken to that person first before joining the program and been able to ask some different questions, then she would have known that. But she knows now, right? And so now she knows more about what she needs, because, like, sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. And so just reframing that decision, that wasn't a bad decision. It just didn't get her where she thought it was going to. And how can we make sure that our intentions and what we're looking for is matching up with the thing that we're buying next time? So I hope this helped. And of course, if you are ready to make some quantum leaps in your business and ready to invest and work with the coach this year, I would love to support you with that. And so in this post, you can grab a link to set up a free call with me where we can chat. You can see, like, what is your problem? How could I help you, with your problem? Sometimes I just lose words. How can I help you with your problem? And see if we would be a good fit. And, is it the right time for you? We can find out. So you can check out that link and set up a free consultation.